Welcome to It's Learning. We are delighted to share exciting information with you about the journey that we're on to help our users succeed. Firstly, I would like to introduce our CEO, Arne Bergby, who will give a short introduction to our vision about the new It's Learning.
Hello, my name is Arne Bergby. I'm the CEO of It's Learning, and welcome to this webinar where we talk about the new It's Learning. Together with me, I have my product manager, CPO Berg, and together we will say a little bit about what's happening in It's Learning. So, how do we make a product people will love? We believe that it's done not by focusing on just the product and the features, but more on the people who use it and what we can accomplish. Our main focus has always been added value for teachers, students, and parents to better enable how learning happens and enforce learning outcomes. We always aim to improve and believe that that's what's keeping us alive. This year we are improving our solution a lot. The improvement of our user interface and workflow is paramount. It's been a long process to get to the solution we are releasing this summer, and we are proud to show you what we have done. At the same time, we understand that this is a big change for you as a user of It's Learning, and I understand that so many changes at once can be a lot to take in. But I also know that you will come to like the new It's Learning. I promise that we will continue to improve our solution even further, and I promise you all that we work hard to make you all satisfied users. Good luck with the new It's Learning. I hope you will enjoy it.
Now I'm delighted to introduce our Chief Product Officer, Berg, who will showcase the new It's Learning, as well as tell you the story of our goals for improving our solution and our future plans.
So thank you for the introduction, and thanks to everybody who's watching this webinar. I'm going to start off my bit by giving you a quick demo of what we think about the new It's Learning. So this is Marisha. Marisha is a high school teacher. Her subjects are English, biology, and math. Marisha is, as most teachers, super busy. She's concerned with how she can follow up and help all of her students across so many different subjects. But Marisha is lucky. Her district recently acquired It's Learning. The platform the district previously used was a clunky old system that she never really got around to understand, and it made her feel like she didn't quite know what she was doing. With It's Learning, she got it right away. She could easily see the different subjects she was teaching, and it was easy for her to get a good overview of all the students across all these different courses. One of her courses had an assignment with a deadline yesterday. She can see that only 7 of her students has completed their homework, and she also notices that Michael, one of her more promising students, has not completed the task. So she goes in and she quickly sends him a message to see and figure out what's going on. Michael phones, beeps, and he can see there is a message about his homework. He's been quite busy on another project recently, and while he loves Shakespeare, he's had some trouble getting to grips with the concept of comparing and contrasting works from the same author. Hearing this, Marisha assumes that there are several other students in the course that might be struggling with the same problem. So what can she do? Well, she decides that she's going to try and see if she can find some supplementary material that she can share with her class. So very easily she goes into the It's Learning library and she searches for some material that might cover the same area that she's working on. So searching the library, she finds this resource that seems to be covering the same standards, the same part of the curriculum as she's teaching. She can see that it's a much used resource and it's been highly rated by 5 teachers. So she adds this to the course and assigns it to everybody in her course. To make sure everybody's aware of this, she goes in and creates a new message to her English course, notifying everybody that there is a new resource available for them to look up at. While Marisha is online, she starts to prepare for tomorrow's math lesson. They're doing median, mean and mode, and she wants to give her students some time to prepare. She finds a really good video on YouTube, and she just copies the link, goes back into It's Learning, goes into her English course, and quickly publishes this resource into the bulletins of her course. She can see that her students are quickly engaging with the resource she posted and comments back to her on the usefulness of this resource. So what you just saw in that brief demo was a little bit of a look into some of the many new and upgraded features we're launching for this back to school. But what we're really launching is a lot more than just a refreshed product. We are launching a new way of thinking about how we do product development. For us, it's about having our users at the center of everything we do. We have to recognize that users aren't robots. Users aren't concerned about requirement sheets or about features. They're just people with tasks to solve, and they're humans with emotions. Emotions like frustration, joy, happiness, worries, and ambition. Perhaps most important of all, many of them are teachers working for an important cause, and they're teachers that has a big heart. We want the new learning to feel like it is for them. Well, but how do you create a product that users love? Well, first of all, and this might sound almost too easy, but the product has to be able to get the job done. It needs to be able to solve the core tasks of the users. So we've done a lot of research over the last couple of years to understand what users are really trying to solve when they use our platform. We call this exploring the problem. So having figured out our main goals and the task we wanted to solve, we had to figure out how to solve them in the most efficient way. We've been working on removing noise, finding modern, efficient patterns for communication, and we've been working with user testing and piloting features to make them really easy to use. We have been built prototypes, we've tested, we've rebuilt and tested, and I have to say thank you to everybody who's been a part of that process. Without your input, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing. The third, and perhaps the most difficult thing we need to do, was to create a product that delights our users. This requires a human platform, not a robot-like platform. So we do this with the new tone and voice. We do it through dialogues and small delighters that speak to the emotional state of the user. And I hope you'll notice this when you start using It's Learning. So based on all the insight we got through focusing on the problem and the task for the users, and what we know about building great products, we set ourselves 4 important goals for the platform for this back to school. First of all, we wanted to simplify and modernize the platform. We wanted to use modern interface patterns that people are familiar with from other platforms. Using outdated patterns, like the way our legacy message system mimics emails, make users automatically assume the system is outdated. Second of all, we wanted to create what we think of as a true digital classroom. What we want is a classroom that feels like an extension to the physical world and the physical classroom. So we need to remove friction in communication between students and teachers and students and peers. Learning is not a one-way transmission of knowledge. It's a social activity. And we really want to create a more human environment that invites to sharing, collaboration, and discussion. Thirdly, we want to empower the teachers to follow best practices for using itslearning. We don't want teachers to have to guess or to configure or to be their own sort of technicians to get itslearning to work. We want it to be dead easy to just start using it the way it's built to be used. So we're launching a new overview page for all your students, where you have easy access to a lot of information about every single student and can communicate with them directly. As a bonus, we're also revamping our library to make it really easy to find and share content from other teachers or for third-party publishers. And of course, the last point is that is around the mobile devices. In the years to come, the smartphone will be our users' preferred device for many, many tasks. We wanted to create a new layout and navigation that translates elegantly to mobile screens and that enables us to create a seamless experience on the web and inside our apps. So I'm going to quickly take you through some of the main changes you will see in the itslearning platform from back to school. I have to give you a bit of a caveat here because everything you will see now and everything you saw in my demo is available from July. Most of these improvements will be made available to everybody, but some of the changes are optional and they can be turned on at your own pace. And the reason for why we've done this is that some of the changes, they're big improvements, but they will also require users to get their head around things like a change in navigation or a slightly different style to how their courses work. So not everything will be turned on for everybody from day one. Our account management team and support will work together with you customers to figure out when the right time for you is to enable these features. As I go through this, I'll also try to explain which of these changes will be there for everybody from day one and which are optional. One of the things I'm sure you noticed in my demo was the new menu. So we built a new main menu that is a lot clearer, that contains a lot less clutter than the earlier menu, and that focuses around the most important things for you. Your courses, whatever groups you're in, as a teacher, your students, your calendar, and resources you get access to the library. As an optional feature, we have moved the left menu and revamped that around a little bit. This is not one of the things that everybody gets from day one, but this is one of the changes we want to help you introduce to your organization. You can also see that there is a new name on this tab called Groups. Groups will be an amalgamation or a collection of projects or communities and what we call hierarchy dashboards in itslearning. In the future, not for this back to school, we are probably looking at rebuilding our group functionality so everything will come together into a nice and modern community-based group solution. So a very important part for us has been to personalize itslearning for the individual user. What you see when you log in is a very personalized screen that focuses on what's important for you. On the right hand side, you'll see your follow-up tasks and whatever events has been put into your calendar. And there is a stream of updates on the main, in the main frame that gives you all the updates and bullet and news from your different courses and groups. The library, I could have talked about that for hours and hours, but we really rebuilt the library from bottom up to make it a lot more simpler to access the repository and to share and to find content that you might find useful in your teaching. As an optional feature, if you decide to go with removing the left side menu, we've created a new personal menu and moved all your settings and files and e-portfolios into this. This is also an enhancement to the user experience because it means that more stuff is available with just one click away from your profile. You'll also notice when you start using the News Learning how we've started to improve the language in the platform. Language is perhaps the most important area of creating a great user experience. So you will see both improved messages in the system messages in the platform, but you also see small wizards or guiders that will help you understand how a new feature works or how you can get started with a new type of feature. So the old bulletin system has now become a much simpler and easier to use stream-based system. So as you saw in my demo, for instance, I could just paste the link and it will automatically embed the video into its learning. Students can read this and comment on the updates from teachers right from their own homepage. So the new Your Students page gives teachers a quick overview of all their students and their recent activities. This is a great enhancement to how its learning works today. You no longer have to go into each additional course to get an overview of your students and to click on them and to look at their profile. And we created this great new profile card where we're trying to bring together all the important information for each student. And in this profile card too, you will also be able to start a conversation directly with the student, meaning that if you're in here looking at their assessments, looking at their different work, you can very easily start off a conversation and do that without having to leave this information. I guess a lot of you also noticed through my demo that I was using a message system that was very different from the one you have in its learning today. This new message system is really built to be super easy, quick, and not least to be a system that feels very similar to the systems that your students are using and yourself are using on a daily basis. This will make it much easier to stay in touch with your students on the platform and to communicate directly with courses and other groups. You can also create your own groups. You can also share files across this platform. We're also revamping our app, and our app is based around what our teachers and students are telling us is their main reason for logging into its learning. So what you will find in the app today already is your tasks, your messages, and your calendar. But from back to school, you will see that we will align the design of the app with the Neues Learning, and we'll also be adding the stream feature into the platform. I guess some of you at this point feel a little bit confused about what's actually going to happen with its learning. And I can promise you that we are going to publish a lot more detailed information about this in the coming weeks. And you can probably already access our release notes from our webpage. But to give you a very high level overview of what's changing for everyone and what's optional, I've created this slide. It doesn't go into every detail, but if you want to know what's the core difference between what you see and what you as an existing customer automatically get for back to school, it is really the left-hand menu. So everything that's related to changes we've done because of the left-hand menu, that's something you can decide on your own, at your own pace, how you want to do it. But everyone, let's start with what everybody is getting, okay? So every customer will be getting the new graphic design you've seen. That includes the new top menu, and that is much more simplified from today with the drop downs of your recent accessed courses, etc. Everybody will get the new bulletin board and stream, and allowing students to post and comment to this. All of our customers will also get the new Your Student tab and the new profile card that makes it easy for you to follow an individual student and communicating with them. The new library will also be available to everybody, and we hope that everybody will take some time to figure out how they can use the library in their organization to promote sharing and reuse of content. Also, the new instant message system will be rolled out across all of our customers. Every message you've already sent in itslearning for the last past years will still be available to you in an archive. But moving forward, all new communication will have to happen on the new instant message system. The optional bits are basically the new personal menu that slides in from the right. So we put that there to compensate for the lack of the left side menu. The same goes with the new course sub-menu that you might have seen in my slide. But the new courses does not contain the left-hand menu. This is also an optional change for now. Since we removed the left-hand menu, we also created a new resource page for you to administrate your resources. So you've seen my demo, you've seen the new itslearning, but I also wanted to just give you a very quick overview of how it's going to look if you don't choose to enable these optional features for now. If you stay with the existing navigation in itslearning and keep the left side menu, this is more or less how itslearning will look. So it will be very familiar to those of you who prefer not to introduce too many changes at once. Before I end my part of the webinar, there is just one more thing I want to mention. What you've seen so far is not everything we're launching this autumn. For back to school, or later this year, you will see a number of other changes to itslearning. We are launching a brand new assignment tool. We are doing a lot of changes to how files are managed in our system and how we integrate with the Microsoft Office 365 or with Dropbox or with Google. There will be changes and improvements to the ad page, and most importantly, of all the things you've seen with the new stream and the message system, we will be listening to the user's feedback, and we will be enhancing these functions every couple of weeks through the autumn. If you're curious about more details on upcoming changes to itslearning, I'd encourage you all to go and have a look at our roadmap. This is available on our webpage, and we keep updating this at least once a month to make sure that we can give you as accurate picture as possible of what we are currently working on.
We hope you're all excited about the changes as we are, and that this webinar has been informative. You probably have more questions, and our local teams are ready and prepared to help you. For more information, check your local itslearning website for information about webinars, roadshows, events and conferences, and up for our customer webpage. We'd love to see and talk to you more about the new itslearning. Perhaps we'll see you at one of our events or one of our international events such as ISTE in the USA. Thank you for listening to this webinar.